Well, good morning, everyone, team. Let's start the session for today. Meanwhile, others can join parallelly. So, in yesterday's session, we were talking about the configuration of flex fields in the system team. And as part of the flex fields, we have seen how to create the descriptive flex fields in the system in a different way, how we can handle the system, right? We have practically seen how to configure the flex fields and how they got deployed in the system as well, team. Now, within the concept of flex field team, I want to talk about one more enhanced concept that we have. They are context values team. Even from day one, whenever we configuring the enterprise, whenever we configuring the locations, divisions, everywhere team, we came across that particular field called context value. I told you we will talk about that in the DFF classes, right? So by this time, already we know what is this concept of flex field in the system and how to configure the flex fields and what are the different data types that Oracle supports and how many maximum flex fields under each section we can create and what is a value set in the system when we creating the flex field. These all we have seen, team. So to have a quick understanding, you can observe here, team, that which we created yesterday and day before yesterday, like on hiring screen, my client group, new person, and if I come to hire an employee here, correct? We define these things, team. Employee, project details, type of employee, the custom fields we defined in the system. And even creation of these also, how many ways we can create that we have seen, team. By highlighting the flex field, first of all, we are understanding on this field what are the available on this page, what are the available DFF sections. And then I can go there, settings button, then go to edit, then segments and creating the segment. Similarly, add global segment we have directly here also. This one we created yesterday, then and there itself. That also I have shown you, team. And whenever we configuring the flex fields, team, we have to talk about one concept called a context value. See, team, context value. Under every DFF section in the system, under every DFF section in the system, we will have, okay, we will have the concept of context value. What do you mean by that context value, team? See, if I go to settings, what I told, how we can identify the flex fields on every page, right side settings and action, highlight flex field, correct? So that the DFF sections will get highlighted. And if any field with bold, with pencil icon, if you see, then come to the conclusion, they are flex fields I told you. Now here, team, we have something called context value within the flex field section only. Under every DFF section, maximum, you will find this context value, team. What is this context value concept in the flex fields? Very important to understand, team. We have something called context sensitive segments, team. Something like my client is telling the field like this, team. Employee office type. Okay. There is one field my client expecting like this, team. Kumar, give me a field called employee office type. Okay. And I want a values for that field, something like head office, then branch office, okay, head office, branch office, and site office. Kumar, I want a field like this, employee office type, okay, and the values to be like this, head office, branch office, and site office. So this is the field And these are the values my client expecting. And again, my client expecting like this, Kumar, first of all, this field should show to me, and these drop down values should show to that one. When my HR selected employee belonged to whether head office, branch office, or site office, the associated segments should open. Means for head office, I require the segments like HO name, then HO city. City, two segments here again. Then for branch office, BO name, then BO city. Okay. Then for site office, SO name, then SO city. Context sensitive segments are nothing but these teams. See, understand. This is context value segment team. This is what? Context value segment. You can call it as context segment, context value segment team. This is context value segment. 1 second. Okay. This is context value segment. Means field will come like this. I'm giving the requirement. First understand the requirement. Then we will configure that and we will see team. Okay. This is context value type segment team. Means where one segment is dependent on another segment values team. This is the field Kumar I want, employee office type. And these are the list of options I should get for that field. Head office, branch office, and site office. When my HR capturing for the employee, let's say HR captured employee office type as head office. The moment head office selected, the associated two fields should open there. HO name, HO city. So my HR will capture employee belonged to which head office, some name of the head office, city from where. So these are context sensitive segments team. These are context sensitive segments. These 6 that I'm going to create now will be context sensitive segments, and these are contexts. These are contexts. What are these? These are contexts. These segments are dependent on this particular segment value team. Means here the field will come in this place of context value team. The field will come as employee office type. And here in the drop down, I can see these 3: head office, branch office, site office. This will be the context that we are going to give to that particular context value field team. So employee office type, it will come. And here these 3 contexts will be coming up in the drop down. The moment I select anything, the associated segments will open. Means these segments are dependent on the context value of that segment team. Where one segment is dependent, these all are 6 fields I am going to create team, but these are dependent on the another field values team. Until and unless I choose any value from that field, the other segments will not show to me. Interdependency segments, if you want to create, then we have something called a context value concept team. So this is context value segment team. And for that, we have to first define the context in the system. And for every context team, you have to create the dependent context sensitive segments. And these segments are the fields that what I'm going to create are dependent on the values of this particular field. Let us configure it, team. You will understand how they are working in the system. Till yesterday, what I created, these all are independent fields. I created employee project detail. I can able to capture the value set I mapped team. So I have to capture employees part of which project. Then I created employee type. Okay. Then I can capture employees part of which type. Then any reward points I can capture. But now see how this concept will work, team. Let me go to settings. Let me go to settings. Okay. Then click on edit. Right. We have to come here only, right, team? Edit. These are the segments which we created, individual fields, the global segments means. Now, team, for our DFF section, person attributes per person's DFF. If I scroll down, here I have context segment. See, team, we have context segment. 1 second, team. Right. We have context sensitive segment, team. See, context segment we have. Now here, team, we have to create that. Let's say remove the prompt. Front end currently it is showing as context value. I will be renaming this one, team, from context value. What I want, team, my requirement is that field is employee office time. Okay. Employee office time. Then rest of the details you no need to touch. Any help text, instruction help text you can give. Value set, if you want to handle this field also as an independent field, you add the value set directly. But I am not handling this with independent type of field. I'm going to create some context to that one and the dependent segments to that one. So don't touch any of the other things, team. Help text, instruction help text you can give. How they will work, you know, right? When I keep my cursor on the field, how they are coming. How they are coming. That if you want, you can write for this also, team. Then required, if you check box, mandatorily it will come. Now just, team, click on save once and then team, go to manage context. For the context segment, when you're defining, team, go to manage context. So here, team, first of all, for this field, we have to define the context, team. These are the context to my requirement. Head office, branch office, and site office. So come to manage context, team. Come to manage context, team. Okay. Then click on plus icon and define the context here first of all. What is that, team? Head office. Okay. Display name. Then the code and API name automatically will come. No need to touch. Whenever you creating the context, okay, define the context sensitive segment. For that context, what are the dependent segments, team? HO name and HO city. So this is the context I'm creating, team. Now I'm going to define context sensitive fields, segments. These are, team, these two for this head office. How, Kumar? After giving these details, once you click on save button, team, this plus icon will become enabled. See, click on save, then these become enabled, team. Click on create, team. Then same as it is yesterday how we created the new field in the system. Now I'm creating HO name. Okay. Then I'm not explaining all these things again. We all know pretty much. I'm quickly creating. Then one of the value set I will use, team. I won't create the value set also. One of the format only type value set which I'm using for other batches, 30 characters one I define that I'm using, team. Then display size, display height, then any text for that VI enabled. These all details you can able to give accordingly, team. Save and close. Now see, team, one segment I created for this context head office, then one more, HO city. Okay, HO city. Then I'm using the same format only type value set here also. Okay, then display size, via enabled, save and close. Right, team? Then if you want to make that also required in the front end, you can even check box from required here also, team. Or else while creating that segment only, we have the option required. So see, team, two segments I defined, HO name and HO city. These are context sensitive segments. For head office context, these two segments I defined, team. Okay. Next, branch office. Click on save and close. So head office were defined, team. The context head office. Then one more context I want to define. One second, that is branch office team. Then click on save. This plus icon will become editable. Then the segments associated to this branch office context team, create them. BO name, okay? BO name. Segment I'm defining team. How to define the segment? As we all know, just I'm quickly creating team. Then one more field, BO city, okay? BO city. Save and close. Like this team, you have to define your segments. Head office and branch office I define. Even if you want site office and their segments, you can define team. But let us conclude. These two we have defined team. So context value I renamed and then context I defined. For every context, the dependent segments also I defined team. Context sensitive segments. Now let us see in the system. See two contexts I defined team. Within them, the segments also I defined. Save and close. Now see team, this is my context sensitive segment, context segment team. Then if I scroll down, their associated context and their associated segments. See branch office, then head office. That all I can able to see team. Now, what we have to do, save and close. And every time when we are working in the concept of flex fields, what I told you team, when you edit that and do something, the deployment status will go to edited. What we have to do? Deploy flex field we have to do. Correct. So once the deployment completed, what else we have to do? We have to sign out and sign in from the application. Correct. We have to sign out and sign in from the application, sign in into the application team. So as I told already team, couple of times we have to do in the demo instances, but in real-time environments, you don't need to do. Let me do one more time. Okay. Now let me go to my client group, new person, and go to hire an employee. Okay. Now check out team. See that context value field. Here what I am seeing team by name employee office type. This is what I am seeing, the context value field, employee office type. And here, if I click on the drop down, what context I am seeing here, these are not value set for that field. These are context, branch office, head office, these two context that what I defined. Where are these fields then? They are context sensitive segments. These two are related to this context. These two are related to this context. So team, when HR hiring the new employee team, employee office type HR came and employee belonged to head office team, let's say. Now the moment I select the context here, the head office, the associated segments will open. See, they opened up now. HO name and HO city. See, these are context sensitive team. Whatever the context that you select for that field, the segments will open. If not team, if I'm not giving any information, then that fields will not show here. So these segments are dependent. Now branch office is selected, then BO name and BO city I can capture. So these are context sensitive segments team. One field is dependent on another field's value, context. So these are context to that particular field, and these are the context sensitive segments. If at all, if you require in this way, the segments are interdependent each other, then team, we have to work on context value concept team. These all are what global segments means, individual segments you can capture. But these are interdependency segment. See, these segments are dependent on the value of another segment, branch office, then head office. If I select HO name, HO city, I can capture. If I'm not giving anything, they will be hided out. They won't be shown also here. See, that is about the concept of context value within the flex fields team. So by this, I can complete the concept of flex fields in the system team. Okay. Within the flex fields team, when we're talking about the flex field, we discussed about the concept of value set team. Value set team, correct? If at all for a field, if you want any list of values or format only, whatever it is team, I told you when you configuring the flex field, we have to map the value set to the field. If it is format only, you go with free format. If you want to maintain independent, then you can maintain that independent type of value set and you can maintain team. We have three more, but usually very less used in team. These two only mostly used in every project implementation. But what are these three types of value sets when we can use? When we can use, let me tell you that also. Usually not required, but let us see as we have that in the functionality. If anytime in the interview, if they ask you, you should be in a position to tell. What are these other types, team? Dependent, subset, and table. See, team, dependent and subset are integral part of independent value set team. Now, I created one field yesterday, that is employee project detail. Okay. For that, the values what I defined team an independent value set, I created this value set and I added A, B, C, D, E. Now my client is telling the requirement in this way. Kumar, I have a field. Okay, this field is there. Okay, fine. You are capturing them. Somewhere in the assignment screen at the employment information, I want to capture Kumar in my organization within each project. Again, some sub projects are there. Employee is part of project A or project B. Again, within that, I have sub project like sales project, marketing project, IT project, like that. Sub projects are there. So I have to capture them as well. How I can do? How I can do? And that too, I want a field on my assignment page. Already here, okay. You are capturing the high level information. Employee is part of which project that you are capturing. One more related field on some other page, let's say on assignment page, I'm going to create by name, something like the field name, something like employee sub project info, a field like I'm creating team, something like this on assignment page somewhere on the third tab here. Let's assume team employee sub project info. Here my client is telling Kumar, I want the values of similar to project details that what I created, A, B, C, D, E, and within that subs. Let's say I want the same values for this one also. Or let's say like this, sub project info, sales project, okay, then IT project, then HR project. These three are part of project A. Okay, then I have something like finance project. Okay, then testing project, then advertising project. Let's assume these are part of project B. Means these are subs. Under project A, these all are subs. Under project B, these all are subs. So team, my client expecting a field like this. Kumar, on my employment information page at the assignment level, give me a field, something called employee sub project info, where I will capture employees part of which project, sales, IT, HR. But when I am capturing, I also want his relationship with the main project. Employee is part of sales, but that is part of project A. Employee is part of finance project or testing project, but that is part of project B. So dependent value set you have to create team for this field. Means already if an existing field is there in the system, the independent value set we already created for that field and that is already there in the system. So you are using that independent value set values, okay, for creating the value set for your another field team. Whenever in system, that's why I'm telling very rare cases. Whenever in the system, if you have this requirement where one value set values are to be mapped with another value set values team, means whenever you creating a dependent type of value set for any field in the system team, when you creating the value set, the independent value set of another field what you created, you can use that value stream. I will show you how it will work, you will understand. See, I'm going to highlight flex field. Let's say here only I'm creating as of now the field. Let's assume example. One more field, let's say edit, and I'm creating something like team employee sub project info. Okay, the field I'm creating new one, then character one I'm using. Then now come to the value set team, create value set, then employee project info value set for this field. No, so these all details we know team. Now module, that is global human resource, global. Then validation type. Now choose team. Format only independent we discussed yesterday and day before yesterday. Now see team. For my employee sub project info field, I'm creating the value set, okay, with dependent type. The moment I choose dependent team, system will ask what is the independent value set that you are creating this value set under that. See, the moment I choose validation type as dependent, immediately system will ask under which independent value set you are creating this dependent value set. See, independent value set. So, okay, character, all this information we know that. Maximum length, minimum length, these all things. And see team, we have to map the independent value set team for this dependent set. So already prior to another field, yesterday the field what I created team, I created the independent value set. Now that independent value set I'm going to use for my dependent value set of this field team. See, let me search employee, employee project details VS. Already I created no the independent set yesterday for that field that I am using team. Now click on save and go to manage values team. So when I am creating the values, I can map my independent value, my dependent values to my independent value set values team. See, click on plus plus icon, then see sales project. Okay, then this sales project is part of which independent value? See from where these are coming. Project A, project B, C, D, E. These are our independent value set values team. The connection we are bridging, the independent values and dependent values team. So sales project, that is part of project A. Then one more, IT project, okay, that is also part of project A. Then I have finance project, okay, that is part of project B. Like this team, all in dependent values, these are all dependent value set values I'm going to create team. These all values are mapping with independent value set values. Employee is part of sales project, but again that is part of project A. Employee is part of finance project, but that is again part of project B. So for any field, if you want to capture multiple values, for any field, if you want to hold or capture multiple values in the system, then this dependent type of value set you can utilize team. Okay. When you creating the dependent value set team, whatever the independent value set we created for the other main field, that values we can use them team. So see, when I'm creating the dependent values, the dependent value is part of which independent value we have to map and we can create. So in the front end, at the employee level, when I'm capturing this field, if I capture the employee information as sales project, employee is part of sales project, and that too, that is from project A. So these two information about the employee, we can able to capture in a one single field. Okay, if that is the case, team, any kind of dependency fields that you have to create for the main field, you can use the dependent type of value set, where you can use your independent values of your previous field and map the independent values to that one team. That is how dependent value set you can create, team. Then we have subset type of value set. What is that? It is a small set within the independent team. Simple. What is that? In some other page team, employee expecting one field. Okay. In that also, employee want to use some of the values of the independent field that what we created. Earlier we created one field, employee project details. In that I have total 5 values I defined team, project A, B, C, D, E. Okay. On some other page in the system, my client expecting one field team. But for that field, I want to use out of the 5 values of that independent value set team, some of the values I want to use and I want to create. Subset means small set within the independent team. See, if I cancel it, if I want to create a subset, see, uh, some, some, something like for the same field I'm creating something. If it is subset, how it will work, I will show you, see. Simple. Again, for subset also, the source will be independent value set only team. When you create subset also team, what is the independent value set, it will ask. Something on some page, you got a requirement to create one field. For that field, your client expecting the values like this. Only Kumar, out of these 5 values, I want these 3 values only to be used. Okay. There is some field called um, project name, some field on some other page in the system. Kumar, I want a field like this. Only these values I want, B, C, D. So you can create that field and you can create the independent value set and you can add the values. Or else team, already these values I have created in one of the independent value set, no, for one of the field earlier. So I can use the independent value set values and I can create the subset type of value set. Only 3 of them of that I can use. So subset is the small set or small value set comes under independent set team. Means some of the values from that I can utilize and I can create the subset type of value set for any other field in the system where they have similar requirement team. See, I'm creating subset. Now see, system asking me which independent value set you are going to use. So I will select our independent value set, that is employee project details. Now see, click on save, then manage values, and see here team, you don't have the option to add any values in this subset type of value set. You will have select and add, search. See, if you give a search team, from where these are coming? A, B, C, D, from the independent set. So I will use some of them, B, C, D, I want, control, apply and OK. So only these 3 values I am using team and I will click on save and close. See, this is subset team. Subset means smallest set within the independent set only team. So you have to use whether it is dependent or subset. The source of truth will be independent value set for the other field what we created. So if you want to create the dependency, then create dependent value set like this team. If you want to create any small set with some values that what we define in our independent value set, then for the field, you can create subset type of value set and use the values from the independent value set team. So these two are purely depending on independent type of value set only. As I told, very less used. Usually unused also you can tell. because every field usually we will create independent value sets and we will add team, though repetitions are there also in the real time. But this is something which is differently handled team. Table type of value sets we have. What are table types of value set team? See, table, the name itself telling, table means what? As I told you, in the system, anything that we are configuring team, it might be core, it might be absence, payroll, anything. Whatever the configurations that we are doing team, the data we are configuring, that will be stored in the backend tables. For every module, we have different tables team. So every data will be storing in different tables in the backend. What are the tables in each module? What are the different tables we have? What columns we have? What attributes will be saved in which columns? That all you will be covered in our BI classes, in our BI reports classes team. But as such, I will try to create the table type of value set by using one of the existing tables in the system. Example, one requirement I will tell you so that you will understand when we can use table sets team. For example, my client asking, Kumar, I want to create one field whenever I'm hiring an employee on the identification page. I want one custom field, something called employee relation details. I want a field called employee relation details. What is that team? See, usually, if any employee relations like employee brother or employee spouse, we have contact information to handle that, but just take this as an example. Employee brother, employee spouse, or employee friend, anyone related to the employee that you are hiring is already working in the organization team. So whenever a HR hiring the employee, to capture if any relations of this employee already working in the system, they want to capture their details team. That is the requirement comes to you. Let's assume. What is that? A field my client expecting on the hiring screen, that is employee relation detail. Kumar, whenever I'm hiring an employee, give me one field called employee relation detail. If any existing employees of mine are related to this employee, might be friend, colleagues, ex-colleagues, brother, sister, spouse, then I want to capture their details team. Who are the employee relations in the system? That is my business requirement team. HR have to capture whenever hiring the new employee. If that employee, friends, colleagues, or family, anyone working in the organization, they want to capture. So here the organization asking me create one field called employee relation detail, so that my HR will search the existing employees in the system and they will capture if at all any relation of this employee there in the organization team. That is a requirement to me. Now tell me, till now we created multiple fields, 3, 4 types of fields we defined. For all of them, we created the value set, we added the values in that, then we are using that team. But in this case, if you ask me, team, I have to get the employees data. I will create a field now, okay? What is the value set type I have to create now? In my organization, 15,000 employees working, 15,000 employees data is there. I cannot add all of the 15,000 employee data in the value set, right? I can't create an independent value set and I can't add all the employees data in that because I want a field ultimately. So when my HR go to that field, when they click on the drop down, all the employees data HR should able to see because I'm establishing the relationship, the employee details, the employee relationship details here. Okay. But how I can create team independent value set? If I create, I can't handle 15,000 employee names. I have to manually, not manually, at least I have to give. But all the employees data will be dynamic team because every day many people will be joining, many people will be terminating. It's not a static data, right? So it is one time means, okay, I will create independent value set and I will include all my employee names in that and I will tag that value set to that field. So in the front end, when HR hiring the employee in this field, when they click on the drop down, all that employee names will show. But employee data is not static. Every day, new hires will be happening, new people will be coming. I can't keep on updating every day value set of that field. Then how, Kumar? That's what Oracle came up with a concept called table type of value set. What is that team? Table type of value set team. When you are creating a table type of value set team, okay, when you're creating a table type of value set team, you can use the existing tables in the system team. Basically, whenever we hiring an employee in the system, the personal details level we will capture employee last name, first name, middle name. So all these employee names, when we hiring the employee, will be storing in the backend database in a table called per person names F. I have one table team in the core HR module, per person names F. In this table in the backend, basically all my employees' names will be captured. Not only that team, we have many tables in the system across the module. One of the example table I'm telling team. Whenever the employee is being hired in the system, the employee's personal information will be stored in per person names table in the system. So team, when I'm creating a new field, I can create a table type of value set where I can query the existing database table and I can fetch the values from that team. See, I will create it and I will show you. I'm creating a new field that is employee relation details. One field I'm creating team. Okay, data type. Okay, then when it comes to value set team, now create value set table value set I'm going to create now. So core HR. So team, when I choose table, certain additional components will enable here team. Some conditions will open. See now, if I go to table character, okay. See, when I select table type, definition section came. From clause, value column, where clause, ID column. See, order by. A basic SQL, if anyone know, you can know that easily team. Like from which table, from which column, then what is the ID column, then where clause, order by. That we have to use here team. So simply I will write one basic table. So in the from clause team, you can use the table. So this value set have to fetch what values from the system. So I want to fetch the values from this table. So in the from clause, you can give the table from which the values you want. From per person names F table, then value column. What column you want to fetch team? I want to fetch the employee first name or last name. Up to you, whatever you want team. Means whenever you are searching here team, you want to search based on employee last name or first name or middle name. Example, I am giving last name. If you want first name, you can give. Automatically that field or the column type and the length will be coming up team. Means from this table, this column I am fetching. So in per person names table, in last name column, all my employees' last names will be saved. If I pass first name, then first name data will be retrieved. Example, I am passing last name team. Okay. And then team description column you can give here. That is display name. Display name. So in that particular column team, the last name, that for every column it will be display name means in the front end, the values that will be displayed over their team. So that display name you have to select within that column. Okay. And then IDs and are not required. Further, if you want to narrow down, if you want to write where conditions in that two people with this legislation code or people with this what have to say marital state, sorry, date, gender, or people from this business unit, that department. If you want to filter further down, you can keep where clause, order by duplicates, and all. If you want to remove, you can set up that. These all are basic SQL conditions team. So you have to pass the table. From that table, which column data that you want to retrieve, that you pass here team, and then click on save and close. The table type value set got mapped to this field. Let us see how that field will be created now. We are enabled, then save and close. Okay, employee relation details, I created team, save and close, and deploy the flex field. And let us check it out team. How in the system now that field got created, with what list of values will be coming up. Let me sign out. Every time we have to sign out and we have to sign in into the system, right? Let me go to one more time. I will do again, sign out and sign in, right team? Then go to my client groups, new person, okay? Then go to hire an employee and then check out team here. See, I got a field, employee relation detail. Now see team, when I click on the drop down here as a HR, when I'm hiring an employee, if HR hiring, picking up that field and clicking on the drop down, see, who all are these? I should have given order by duplicates also coming, the condition I missed, okay? See, Alan Cook, Mandy Stewart, Marion, Akash Sharma, Bala Gupta, or even more. See, I'm touching with some person named by Kumar. So all Kumars in the system, Vishal Kumar, Pradeep Kumar, or I will search with the employee by name John. See, Miraj John, Robert Johnson, Miral Johnson, Rhonda. See, from where all these I can able to search all my employees' data in the system. How? This field I created with the table value set. And when I'm creating the table value set, which table values we are fetching, retrieving from per person name, that to last name, that column team that we are fetching up. So all the employees' last names, we can able to fetch it out here team. See? So this is how team. In case existing database table values you want to use for any field, you can rely upon table type of value set. So these are the flex fields concept. I mean, this is about the flex field concept, which we have to talk about in the system team. So this is descriptive flex field. All the different concepts in the flex fields we covered team. Okay. And how many ways we can define, then how to create the global segment, then and there itself we have seen context value segments, then within value set, different types of value sets, what we have seen. Now team, some common configurations we have discussed from last 3 days. Now continue with our organization's configuration team. We configured our enterprise, we configured our divisions, we configured our legal entities. So far, these things we completed. Enterprise, how to configure, we have seen. Divisions and legal entities. These all things we have seen, team. Next, what we have, team, we have business units to configure under legal entities. Correct? So what all business units that our client having for our legal entities, that all BUs we have to configure team. So I'm going to continue my organizations now. After legal entities in the system, business unit. So in order to define the business units team, we have the task available called manage business unit in the system. Go to the system and go to setup and maintenance. Go to setup and maintenance. Under workforce deployment, you can search with manage business unit. So we will be having 2 setups coming up team with respective to BU. Even in our Excel sheet also, we can able to find that. See, manage business unit, and the next task will be business unit set assignment. So this is about reference data sets mapping to the BU team. That next we have to be doing. Every business unit when we configure, after configuring the BU, we have to go to business unit set assignment task, and we have to configure the reference data sets mapping to BU thing. Okay, let us see after that. First, I want to create the business units in the system. Then team, go to manage business unit, come to manage BU. Okay. And then here team, you will land upon manage business units. So as it's a demo instance team, whatever the existing data available in the system, that all BU information you can able to see. See Apex BU, Algeria, acquisition. Many people when they're practicing, they created team. Please ignore when you are working in the real time in your client's application, it's you or your team who will be creating all these things team. You won't find anything here like this. So when you come to manage business unit team, click on create, then you will land upon create business unit task. You land upon create business unit task. See team, create business unit. So let's say team, I'm creating the BU by name Tata North BU. Let's say team Tata North BU. Okay. Then team, whenever you creating the business unit in the system, location we have to capture. By this time already, all the locations for all of our offices we might be creating here. Correct? Manage locations task. Whatever we define, that you can able to see here team. So as of now, I'm not separately creating. We know that concept team. I will use some existing location to our BU team. So any existing location, some Mumbai, something is there, I will use that. Okay, I'm using that team. So Tata North BU, very simple, only 4 attributes team we have to capture. Name of the BU, then the location and manager details. What is this Kumar manager details? Your system asking me to capture at the BU level. What will be the impact? See team, in Fusion system, the concept of manager, you can maintain at different levels in the system team. See, the concept of manager, first of all, at the division, here it is information purpose, just ignore it. But see here team, at the business unit level, you can maintain the manager. Next, under BU, when you creating the departments, there also system will ask the manager details. Next, under the departments, when we creating the positions, at the position level also system will ask. See team, in Fusion system, at different levels, we can maintain the concept of manager. At which level your client requirement is there, accordingly we can configure team. What will be the behavior, you know? See, usually in the time of implementations, employees data will not be available. We will keep it blank and we will define. But once after everything configured, employees data also hired team. If client is telling Kumar, I want to maintain the concept of manager in my organization at the BU level. So you can come to the BU and you can able to map the manager details team. As of now, it's a demo instance. I have employees data available team. So I'm using existing one. Let's say I'm adding Mr. Akash Sharma as the manager to this BU. What will be the impact, you know? Going forward team, whenever HR hiring the new employees in the system, if at all the employee hiring in this North BU, obviously, right? Whenever we hiring the employee team at the assignment level, we will capture in which legal employer we are hiring the employee, in which business unit we are hiring the employee, all that thing. So whenever HR hiring the employee in the system, if at all the employee hiring in North BU, automatically this Akash Sharma will be added as a manager to that employee team. See, in Fusion system, for every employee, when we hiring, we will be mapping the manager details to that employee. Who is the manager to that employee team? So if you want to maintain the manager at the BU level, whenever you creating the business units in the system, tag that person who is the manager to that BU here team. So in the system, whenever hiring happening by the HR team, when HR hiring the employee in this North BU, automatically Akash Sharma will become the manager to that employee. Now, some of you might get a question, Kumar, you are telling at different levels you can maintain. For let's say Tata North BU I'm creating now. I added Akash Sharma as manager. Next, under that, I will be creating some sales department and I will add Mr. Ravi as manager to that department. See, at the BU level, you already added. Let me tell in this way, you will understand. This is the BU I'm defining now. Tata North BU. Okay. Here, Akash Sharma, I added as a manager. Now, under that BU, after that, under every BU, we have the departments, jobs, positions, everything, right? I have sales department team. Sales department team. When I'm creating the department, I added Mr. Ravi as manager to that department. Now, how Kumar? I'm going to hire an employee now. I'm hiring an employee in this BU, in this department. Now, who will become the manager? At the BU level, one person you're giving. At department level, one person you're giving. How? The second level. Every time, as I told in the fusion system, what we configuring at the top will override at the later stages. Similarly, between BUs and departments also, whatever you configure at the BU level will be overrided with department. So obviously, whenever I'm hiring an employee in North BU and sales department, Mr. Ravi only will become manager to that new person team. So the above level, whatever you configure will override. Then further at the position level also we have the scope in fusion system to maintain the manager. So whatever we maintain at the department will override here team. So ultimately in the fusion system, if you are maintaining the positions, I mean the manager concept at the positions level team, that will be taken as granted. The above levels are overridden thing. But even then, as a HR, while HR hiring the employee, he can override and he can give out of his choice, whatever the manager. But by default, if you want the data to be coming up means at different levels. My client is telling Kumar only at the BU level I will maintain. At department positions I will not maintain. Then obviously, whoever the manager you are maintaining at the BU, if hiring happening in that BU by the employee, then he will become the manager team. So we have the scope at different levels in the system to maintain at which level your client maintains up to their requirement team. So if you want to enable at the BU level, create the BU and you can map the manager details here team. Then default set. What is this default set? See, we all know, right? In the fusion system, for the business units, the concept of reference data sets will be mapped. So when I'm explaining the RDS, what I told team, for every business unit in the system, 4 types of reference data sets we are going to map. Correct? One job set, one grade set, one location set, and one department set. For every BU, we have to map 4 types of reference data sets I told you. But team, whenever you creating the business unit, follow the approach team. By default, you add common set that what Oracle delivered in the system team. By default, add common set. Every system that you are working, common set is something which Oracle by default delivers, I told you. When you creating the BU, take this as granted team, default set add as common. Why? Because team, the next immediate task after BU creation, we have something called business unit set assignment. So here team, I am going to map the individual sets, like one job set, one location set, one grade set, one department set here team. While we creating the BUs, by default, keep common set. That we will be overriding here when we configuring the set assignment task. So when you creating the business units in the system team, just these four informations are required. Save and close. Next, one more BU if you want to define the same approach team. Just the four attributes we have to be given. So this is how in the system we can create the business units in the system team. So I will conclude the topic here for today. In tomorrow's session, we will continue with business unit set assignment task and also the further configurations like departments, grades, and all in tomorrow's session team. Okay. So any questions as such in today's topic, online people?
Hi, Kumar Krishna.
Yes, Krishna.
Yeah, first question, tomorrow class is there?
We have the class, yes.
Okay.
What?
Tomorrow Shivaratri. Oh, anyway, it's okay.
Okay, okay. Even I didn't realize it, that's sorry. Usually we will have,
Okay.
let's, if
Okay.
anyone want, let me know. I can decide based upon majority population.
Okay. Okay.
Even I have not checked the calendar.
Okay. I have few questions. First of all, you created that context sensitive. Rename that with some employee something like that,
Correct.
right? So can we add more if you want another context, or per page only one like that?
Not necessarily. If you there you might not add, but you can add it directly here. When you highlight the flex field, you have add context segment. At last, we have one more option. You can add one more also.
Oh, we have another option also.
Yeah.
Okay. And also, you are telling that for business group, business unit, you name it as one manager, you are created. Okay,
Hmm.
business unit. And when you hire the employee, there is line manager option is there.
That
Let
is
us say
only line manager.
line manager. If
Yeah.
you are not going to create any line manager, business unit manager directly it will come here in line manager field, or how system?
See, line manager in the Fusion system means manager basically. So whatever you are capturing at the BU level as a manager, he will come as line manager at the employee level.
Automatically it will come if he
It
is
will
not
come.
selected. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Kumar, when you explain about the dependent and independent value set, so we have independent value, then we have dependent value.
Correct.
Okay. So there are two layers only. One
Two
is
layers.
independent and dependent.
Correct.
Is it possible I can create independent, then dependent, then again dependent?
Independent you define, then dependent you define from these values,
Yes.
and again
Again,
dependent.
I want, yes.
Again, if you create dependent also, you have to use the source of independent only. This dependence you cannot use.
Is it?
Yeah,
So it will not be possible then.
it will not be possible.
Okay. Three layers are not possible.
No. Any other question? Gautam, you have anything?
Yes, Kumar. Actually, what is the difference in that context value segment and the dependent?
In dependent, we are not creating multiple segments. Segment is one, field is one, but you are capturing multiple values in that. But in context sensitive, what we have, we are creating dependent segments on the values of this segment, where one segment is dependent on another values. Totally different, these two are.
I was thinking if we are creating dependent, so we can use the context, like it's almost the dependent on the context, like sensitive segment dependent on
Dependent
the context.
only, but these are not values, right? This is main field. This is main field. These are context to that field. These are what again? These are not values that we are capturing for that field. These are again fields that we are creating which are dependent on this field values. But in dependent value set, what? In the same field, you are capturing the multiple values in the system. That's all. But
Ah,
here, custom segments depending on these values of this segment, where one field is depending on another field.
yeah, got it, got it. In the context, we have a field that we need to fill
Yeah,
up.
Exactly.
values in that.
Okay.
Kumar, actually, I have one question. Akshay here.
Yeah, Akshay.
Like the context value segment you have created as an employee office type. So for the single page, we can configure only one context value segment or multiple can be done.
You can create one more context segment also. That's again available when you highlight the flex field. Under the context value only, we have something called add context segment. You can go there and you can define that.
So is there any limitation of like number of context value segments we can define?
No, ideally we don't have such. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. Right, team, we'll conclude here for today. Let's join back tomorrow and we'll continue, team. Thank you.